"Listen," said the Count, and deep hatred mounted to his face, as the blood would to the face of any other. "If a man had, by unheard of and excruciating tortures, destroyed your father, your mother, your betrothed, and being who, when torn from you, left a desolation, a wound that never closes in your breast, do you think the reparation that society gives you is sufficient when it interposes the knife of the guillotine between the base of the occiput and the trapezial muscles of the murderer, and allows him who caused us years of moral sufferings to escape with a few moments of physical pain?" "Yes, I know," said Franz, "that human justice is insufficient to console us. She can give blood in return for blood, that is all. But you must demand from her only what it is in her power to grant. I will put another case to you," continued the Count, "that where society, attacked by the death of a person, avenges death by death, there are but not 1,000 tortures by which a man can be made to suffer without society taking the least cognizance of them, or offering him even the insufficient means of vengeance, of which we have just spoken. Are there not crimes for which the impalement of the Turks, the augurs of the Persians, and the stake of the brand of the Iroquois Indians are inadequate tortures, and which are unpunished by society? Answer me, do not these crimes exist?" "Yes," answered Franz, "and it is to punish them that dueling is tolerated." "Ah, dueling," cried the Count. "A pleasant manner, upon my soul, of arriving at your end, when that end is vengeance. A man has carried off your mistress. A man has seduced your wife. A man has dishonored your daughter. He has rendered the whole life of one who had the right to expect from heaven that portion of happiness God has promised to every one of his creatures, an existence of misery and infamy. And you think you are avenged because you shall send a ball through the head, or pass a sword through the breast, of that man who has planted madness in your brain and despair in your heart. And remember, moreover, that it is often he who comes off victorious from the strife, absolved of all crime in the eyes of the world. No, no," continued the Count. "Had I to avenge myself, it is not thus I would take revenge." Okay, Dante's gone a little off the far end, I think. What is he... Okay, let's just take a step back, take a breath. Okay, what in the hell is Dante even saying here? All this talk of death and executions yesterday and today, saying that there isn't a punishment on earth severe enough or that is a balm enough to one's soul of the victim whose crimes the committer has perpetrated. I don't know if that sentence I just said makes any sense. But he's saying here that all of those execution types that he's seen all over the world, he throws a few more in here today, are insufficient to make the person who has done you a personal wrong. And he's not talking about just theft or petty crimes. He's kind of bearing his soul a little bit here in a way that I guess Franz wouldn't know. He's trying to get to the bottom of Sinbad the Sailor, not Edmond Dante. So when he's saying here, like, do you think the guillotine, which, kills someone in a matter of seconds, is enough for someone who has taken your wife, your spouse, your husband, your daughter, your life away from you, made you suffer? Like, there isn't an execution method in society that steps up to the level of vengeance that you need to feel complete, that you are made to feel that the person who has done this to you feels your suffering or can heal you from what you've experienced. This is a losing battle, Dante. It's a losing battle. And Franz goes so far as to say, well, that's why we tolerate dueling. And the Count is just like, oh, yeah, right. Okay, so you're saying that just a bullet through the head or a swift sword thrust through their heart is going to be enough. Now, the underlying thing that I took from that is that it's even putting the method of execution in the hands of, say, someone like Dante who wants vengeance and making it much more intimate. You are the one inflicting that vengeance upon another, and even that isn't enough. And that last line, had I to avenge myself, it is not thus I would take revenge. So if it's not the guillotine, it's not dueling, it's not bashing someone with a mallet Mazzolata, that's the name of the chapter, if it's not impaling them. He throws impalement out there. Augurs, the stake, and the brand. Like, these aren't enough and are not the way that Dante would take vengeance on his enemies. Dante has gone off the deep end, folks. Is he redeemable? I don't know. I don't know anymore. What do we think his method of vengeance is? Do you feel a sense of like panic in your soul the way that I do, of like, oh my God, what in the hell is happening to this man? How far is he going to go? There are questions that are coming up. Not just how far is he going to go, but how far is he willing to go? How far does he think he's willing to go? Do those match? Is he capable of envisioning a vengeance kind of intellectually, but has his soul corrupted to the point where he can see it through? And if he does, I sound like the History Channel right now, and if so, is that going to satisfy him? Or are we looking at a tragic character who there is no redemption arc for him, either in our eyes as the readers or himself as a character? Ooh, dark times of the soul here on the Countdown of Monte Cristo. These are a couple of dark chapters, aren't they? Let's just continue here tomorrow with a little bit more. Maybe something turns around. Maybe his greatest act of vengeance will be forgiveness. Do we think? Only 30% into the book that's what he's going to take? Fingers crossed. I'll see you here tomorrow. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.